Hello and welcome everyone to the Drishti IAS English YouTube channel. My name is Pragya and today's interesting episode of Polity Primer. We are going to discuss a very contentious issue that has been making headlines all over the India and that has stirred the debate all over India. The title of our today's discussion is the Gyanvapi Mosque Case or the Gyanvapi Masjid Case. In this discussion, we'll firstly see the history of the Gyanvapi Mosque. Then we are also going to analyze what is the title suit of 1991. We are also going to see how has the suit now been revived. We are also going to analyze the arguments that have been put forward by both of the sides, and we are also going to see the Places of Worship Act 1991 and the relevant provisions involved in the title suit of 1991. Okay, and in the end we are going to see a practice question for your prelims examination and a practice question for your mains examination. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic, recently the Allahabad High Court has said that the suit instituted by the Hindu side is not barred by the Places of Worship Act as has been alleged by the petitions filed by the Muslim side. So this comes as a blow to the Muslim side. Okay, and the Allahabad High Court has also directed the district court in Varanasi to complete the trial as expeditiously as possible. So this brings us to the question that what is the history of this Gyanvapi Mosque and why this issue is so contentious. Okay, so if I talk about the history of the Gyanvapi Mosque, see, the whole title suit of 1991 is premised on the fact that yes, there was an ancient Hindu temple and the mosque has been constructed in place of that ancient Hindu temple, and that is why the history of the Gyanvapi Mosque becomes very significant in this regard. Okay, so the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's reign is credited with the most recent incident of destruction, and the historian Satish Chandra in his book Medieval India from Sultanate to the Mughals states that Aurangzeb ordered the temple to be demolished as a measure of punishment, and because he believed it to be a source of rebellious ideas, source of subservient ideas. So you all know that there is a history of temples being replaced by the mosque, and I am not saying so. This has been stated by big historians in their books. So this temple was also destroyed and hence a mosque come into its place, and that is what is being argued before the courts in India, that yes, the temple belongs to us, it was a historical temple and it has been replaced by a mosque. As Chandra's works details, this resulted in the destruction of several temples and the construction of mosques in their place. So this is what I was explaining to you. Yes, there are instances, there are evidences to prove, and the historians are also saying so that yes, various Hindu temples were destroyed and mosques were built especially during the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's reign. Okay, the temple faced destruction on at least two earlier occasions. The ancient temple I am talking about here is the temple which was there at the place of the Gyanvapi Mosque. Okay, so in 1194 CE, it was attacked by Qutbuddin Aibak, and during the Queen Razia's brief and tumultuous reign, the site was taken over, resulted in the construction of a mosque, as historian Meenakshi Jain highlights in her book Flights of Deities and Rebirth of Temples. So whatever I am stating here, whatever I am explaining here is already cited by historian in their books. Okay, so it is argued that yes, there was an ancient old temple, it was destroyed twice, and finally a mosque was constructed in its place. Moving forward, the temple was reconstructed, okay, during the Akbar's reign, only to be demolished again during the Aurangzeb's rule. So this replacement of temples with mosques primarily happened during the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb's reign. Interestingly, a section of the temple was intentionally preserved as the real wall of the mosque, which ironically is known as the Gyanvapi Mosque, and this Gyanvapi Mosque is named after that holy site Gyanvapi. Okay, so this is very ironical, but yes, this is true. Presently, the Gyanvapi Mosque and the Kashi Vishwanath temple exist in close proximity, indicative of their intricate history of destruction and subsequent reconstruction. So when you will visit Varanasi, firstly I would like to inform you that this mosque is situated in Varanasi, India. Adjacent to the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Kashi Vishwanath temple is very significant for the Hindu side. Okay, so this mosque is situated adjacent to the Kashi Vishwanath temple, and it has been also alleged that the ancient walls of the ancient temples have been restored behind the walls of the mosque, and the holy site is known as the Gyanvapi, after which the mosque has been named. So this was the brief history of the Gyanvapi Mosque. Now let us understand what is the title suit of 1991, how it came to be filed before the courts in India. So this is the original title suit in the Gyanvapi issue, filed on behalf of the DT Adi Vishweshwar, like in the Ayodhya case. So this title suit is representing the ancient Lord Shiva Roop Adi Vishweshwar. Okay, and this has been filed before the courts in Varanasi. And if you talk about the title suit, this is the original title suit. This is very different from suit filed by 5 Hindu women. 5 Hindu women asking for right to worship. So this case is different and the right to worship case is different. Okay. In 1995, the Civil Judge Senior Division Varanasi had framed 8 key issues to be adjudicated in the plea. So let me explain some law here, the Civil Procedure Code here. I know this is out of context, but yes, I'll have to explain it because it is relevant for better understanding for the topic. So what happens whenever you file a civil suit, there are issues, preliminary issues are formed by the court. Okay. And the first issue that comes before the court is the maintainability of the suit. You will firstly say that no, the suit is not maintainable. You will say that there is no cause of action. What is the cause of action? It is your legal right that has been infringed. So firstly, you will establish a cause of action, and then there are some preliminary issues formed by the civil court, and one such issue was formed by the Civil Judge Senior Division Varanasi in this case also. So it was a crucial aspect of whether the suit would be barred under the Places of Worship Act 1991. So you can just say that in civil suits, because you are not examining the evidences at the very first instance. In civil suit, that does not happen. You have to decide the preliminary issues first. So this issue on which the Allahabad High Court has recently given its judgment is a very preliminary issue, that whether the suit would be barred by the Places of Worship Act. So the Allahabad High Court has said no, it is not barred by the Places of Worship Act. Okay, so this is the preliminary issue that has been decided in the favor of the Hindu side. Moving forward, the trial court initially decided that the suit was barred under the 1990 Act. So the trial court originally stated that yes, the suit is barred under the Places of Worship Act 1991, but this has been overturned by the Allahabad High Court, and the Allahabad High Court has recently observed that no, it is not barred by the Places of Worship Act 1991. However, the Hindu side filed a revision application, and the revisional court set aside the trial court order and directed that the suit had to be decided on merits. Then on appeal, the Allahabad High Court on October 13, 1998 stayed the revision order and effectively the suit, which meant that the proceedings were as of now stalled. Okay, so the proceedings were stalled. We'll discuss in our further slides how they actually came to be revived. But yes, if you ask me what has the Allahabad High Court recently observed, it has recently observed that the suit is not barred by the Places of Worship Act 1991. So the preliminary issue has been decided in favor of the Hindu side. Now a question might come into your mind that if the proceedings were stalled, if the case was already stayed, how did this stay revive? How did this title suit of 1991 revived? Okay. So a very important and a landmark judgment came by the Supreme Court in 2018, and a two-judge bench of the Supreme Court in the case of Asian Resurfacing of Road Agency Private Limited Directed versus CBI held that the interim order of stay granted by court other than the Supreme Court itself will stand vacated automatically after 6 months unless they are specifically extended. So see, in India there is a pendency of cases. In India there is a huge issue of pendency of cases. The cases go on for years together, and imagine you have put a stay on a very important issue. So the Supreme Court took cognizance of this fact and said that no, until and unless the Supreme Court stayed the issue, or the issues are always stayed, there is a stay of issue. I will not explain the law because it is not relevant from the discussion point of view in polity. But the issue, whenever there is a case is filed, a stay is asked on the issue, and if there is a stay, then definitely the case is stalled. And the Supreme Court took cognizance of this issue and said that no, until and unless we direct it to be extended, all stays, granted by the courts other than the Supreme Court will automatically be vacated. And hence, citing this 2018 verdict, the Hindu side argued that the stay was not in operation and the case must be heard again. So this ruling by the Supreme Court in this important case was relied on by the Hindu side, and again it reopened the title suit of 1991, and this is how the title suit of 1991 got revived. Okay, this was challenged by the Muslim side before the Allahabad High Court, that how can you allow the stay to be vacated, and even if you allow the stay to be vacated, even if the suit is revived, it is explicitly barred by the Places of Worship Act 1991. So this was how the suit actually was revived before the Allahabad High Court. Moving forward, what are the arguments in the present suit that has been put forward by both of the sides? Let us analyze. Okay, so the 1991 suit seeks an order that the structure, that is the mosque, on top of the cellars, that is the Tai Khana, and the adjoining part of the old temple of Lord Vishweshwar, another name for Lord Shiva, and some other structures are the property of Lord Vishweshwar and the devotees. So the Hindu side is arguing that the structure, mosque itself, and whatever the structure is there in the premises of the mosque is Hindu property. Okay, and they are also alleging that there has been illegal occupation by the Muslim side. It also said that the defendants, that is the Waqf Board and the Anjuman Intizamiya Masjid Committee. So there are two parties involved from the Muslim side, the Sunni Waqf Board and the Anjuman Intizamiya Masjid Committee, that is managing the Gyanvapi Mosque. Okay, have no right, title or interest or any kind whatsoever. So basically they are denying their right to conduct namaz, they are denying their title over the suit property, and they are saying that no, Muslim community does not have any right, title or interest whatsoever in the old Hindu temple. So because I have already explained to you that the whole suit is premised that there was a old ancient Hindu temple on which the mosque was built, and that is why the Hindu side is asking to restore the temple as well as the worship rights. Moving forward, it was stated that there existed at the site prior to the Puranic period Swambhu Jyotirling of Lord Shiva, also known as Lord Vishweshwar. Okay, much before the advent of Muslim rule in India. So this is the whole premise that yes, there was a ancient Hindu temple located on the disputed site. Okay, as per the plea, the temple was constructed by King Vikramaditya about 2050 years ago and duly concentrated the idol of Lord Vishweshwar therein. So they are not only saying that the temple was constructed, they are also arguing that yes, there is a idol of Lord Shiva present in the premises. So you might be aware about the news also that the ASI is conducting the scientific survey of the mosque, and there is also a issue of Lord Shiva versus fountain. The Hindu side is saying that there is a statue of Lord Shiva within the complex, and the Muslim body that is managing the mosque is arguing that no, it is not the statue of Lord Shiva, but it is a fountain. And this is completely another case. It is different from the title suit of 1991. Okay. It is also said that due to religious antipathy, it was pulled down several times during the Muslim rule in the country. So this is the whole premise of the Hindu side, that yes, there was an ancient old temple, as I'm explaining to you, and as I have explained to you previously also, and the mosque is built by destroying that ancient Hindu temple. Moving forward, it also said that besides the original temple of Lord Vishweshwar, there are 4 mandaps around the temple known as the Mukti Mandap, Gyan Mandap, Ashwarya Mandap and Shringar Mandap. Why this Shringar Mandap becomes important? Because The other suit that is filed by 5 Hindu women, 5 Hindu women is asking for, worship rights of this Shringar Mandap. They are asking that yes, open the Shringar Mandap and we'll conduct puja there. So this is another issue, another petition that is going on in this case. Okay. Lawyers appearing on behalf of the Mosque Committee and the Sunni Waqf Board said that the petitioner have every right to offer their prayer in the temple in question and are neither debarred nor anybody has stopped them to perform religious rites inside the temple. But they are saying that this they are not being denied their religious right of offering puja in the temple, but yes, the whole suit is barred by the Places of Worship Act 1991. In fact, you cannot change the character of any religious place after the enactment of the Places of Worship Act after the independence of India. So they are saying that no, it is specifically barred. You cannot convert the religious identity of the place. Okay. Now let us discuss the Places of the Worship Act 1991 because it is very significantly being discussed in this case. The Places of Worship Act states that the religious character of any place of worship as it existed on August 15, 1947 must be maintained. So it is premised on preserving the secularism. And the wires of this Place of Worship Act 1991 has already been challenged by the Hindu side in the Supreme Court. The case is currently sub judice. The long title describes it as an act to prohibit conversion of any place of worship and to provide for the maintenance of the religious character of any place of worship as it existed on the 15th day of August 1947 and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So this Places of Worship Act was intended to preserve secularism, and you cannot convert the religious identity of any place of worship after the independence. So section 3 of the Places of Worship Act is in question in this case because it specifically bars the conversion of religious identity of any place. Okay. So this issue is being argued by the Muslim side in this case, that under section 3 you cannot change the religious identity of a place, and the Muslims have been offering namaz in the Gyanvapi Mosque since the 15th August 1947. So section 3 is in question in this case because it puts a specific bar on converting the religious identity of any place of worship after India has been granted independence. With this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have seen the history of the Gyanvapi Mosque. We have also analyzed that what is the title suit of 1991. We have also seen how was the suit revived, because we have seen that the suit was stayed and the proceedings were stalled before the Allahabad High Court. And we have also discussed that the arguments put forward by both of the sides, and we have also seen the Places of Worship Act and the relevant provision that is in question in this case. Okay. So the Allahabad High Court has said that decide the character of the mosque, whether it is a Hindu place of worship or whether it is a Muslim place of worship. So the Allahabad High Court has recently observed that no, the suit is not barred by the Places of Worship Act, as well as the Allahabad High Court is asking the district courts in Varanasi to decide the religious character of that institution or the disputed mosque. Okay, so this has happened as of now in the case, and I hope you have understood that what is happening in this case. Now let us discuss a practice question for your prelims examination. So the question is, consider the following statements. Your statement number 1 is Gyanvapi Mosque was built in 1669 AD. Your statement number 2 is it is located in Varanasi, India. Your statement number 3 is the Anjuman Intizamiya Masjid Committee manages the Gyanvapi Mosque. Which of the following statements given above are correct? Your options are: option A is 1 and 2 only, option B is 2 and 3 only, option C is 1 and 3 only, and option D is 1, 2 and 3. Kindly drop your answers in the comment box below. Now let us analyze a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, secularism is the essence of the Places of the Worship Act 1991. Comment. So you will write that yes, Places of the Worship Act, you will explain the long title and the intent behind that act. It specifically bars the conversion of any religious place under section 3. You will write the important section 3 and you will say that yes, secularism is indeed the basic intent of the Places of the Worship Act, and you will also write that yes, the constitutional validity of the Places of the Worship Act is currently challenged before the Supreme Court, and the matter is sub judice. So you will explain that yes, it was to preserve the secular character of the country after independence. So you can conclude like this. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, kindly drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such updates. Thank you.